Ho capito perché nell'altro video ci sono stati problemi di audio. Praticamente Windows mi aveva messo il livello del microfono a un diciamo volume troppo basso, quindi la mia voce si sentiva un po' scattare. Spero che adesso l'abbia risolto, perché giustamente ho messo il livello giusto. Niente, alle volte Windows fa sti fatti. Comunque, se avete visto il gameplay precedente a questo, magari lo sapete. Se non l'avete visto, andate nei link in basso, trovate il gameplay precedente, probabilmente anche quello successivo, non so se lo finisco oggi. Se non c'è, significa che lo finisco con questo gameplay. Ma soprattutto trovate i miei social. Venite sui miei social. Oggi, tra l'altro, ho risposto anche un bel sondaggio. Ho fatto un po' una roba da influencer. Venite. Se vi fa piacere, cioè non è che siete obbligati. Comunque, Alan Wake, American Nightmare, titolo che ricordavo un filino un filino meglio, perché l'avevo finito già in passato, lo ricordavo, sì, non è mai stato una roba eccelsa, ma lo ricordavo un filino meglio. Invece è di un piattume generale, non mi sta prendendo più di tanto. Lo finisco, come ho anche detto appunto nell'altro video, giusto per gli onori di cronaca, avendo finito Alan Wake da poco, lo faccio diciamo per quelle poche persone che mi seguono. Siamo già nel secondo loop temporale, siamo di nuovo al telescopio qua. E dobbiamo portare la fotocamera alla dottoressa che sta qua dentro. La cosa che ogni cazzo di... Dammi questo, va. Lo dissi che volevo la carabina, che è molto più comoda da usare, spreca meno colpi.
It's you. How dare you? No, wait. It isn't you, is it? I suppose you'd better come in. I'll unlock the door.
Thanks. I know what you're thinking. Evil twin, supernatural powers. But most of the time, I just like to keep things basic. I want you to understand that. Like this. Need to get your hands dirty? No batteries, no moving parts, just physics. That's technology you can depend on. It's a classic. Speaking of classics, you need to be careful with this one, though. If the victim suddenly twists, you might end up cutting yourself. It's not really a workhorse, but I'm a sucker for this style. Now this is more like it. You've got slip-resistant grip. Believe me, you really want that traction once you're wrist deep in somebody. The blade's stiff enough so
Un corso sui coltelli e come ammazzare la gente.
But it's still really easy to open with just one hand. Now that's a big thing for me. I know what you're thinking. It's too big, too heavy. But sometimes you just need the extra oomph. If you're talking intimidation, this is gonna do the job. Also great for dismemberings and whatnot. You know, the messy jobs. I can't tell you how many things I've MacGyvered with this stuff. Okay, now, guns. Not a big fan. I mean, how are you supposed to really connect with somebody with a bullet?
Perché poi con un coltello, vabbè.
I take pride in what I do. We can't both be worthless hacks, can we?
Scribacchini. Faccia di cazzo.
You'll have to forgive me, but this feels very
have the replacement part for your telescope, Doctor.
All right. Let's get it installed. I think we can give this a go, although I have this strange feeling that something will
Don't
go
start
wrong.
it up yet. There's a problem with the coolant system.
Yes, that's right. I remember. All right, let me think. If they're sabotaging it, they'll be at the primary coolant pipe outside. If you can secure it, we should be ready to pick up the signal. That is why you're here, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I'll take care of it.
Before you go, if you have the time, I'd appreciate if you came up here and explained a few things. All of this is very strange to me.
Potevi salire.
Hello.
I don't quite know what's going on, but I seem to remember having had this encounter before.
It's not deja vu, Doctor. This has happened before. We're caught in a time loop.
That's utterly insane. How could that be?
I can't really explain it. I suppose I could call it magic.
I don't believe in magic.
Neither do I. But I can't argue with what I've experienced. Listen, what matters now is the signal. The last time we only caught a part of it. I need the rest of it. Whether you believe me or not, you want to look into this as much as I do, right?
Yes. All right.
I realize that you have trouble believing this.
That's an understatement. I can't deny that what you say resonates with me on some level I don't pretend to understand. But for all I know, I'm simply delusional.
But it's not just you. I've experienced the same thing as you. Doesn't that prove something, at least?
Maybe. On the other hand, given your appearance, and the fact that you're trying to convince me that I'm not insane, perhaps you're merely a hallucination that accompanies my delusions.
You're not having a psychotic episode, Doctor. For what it's worth, I'm a skeptic by nature. I completely understand your reluctance to believe me.
There are people caught so deep in their psychosis that they retroactively manufacture memories and beliefs that conform to the situation at hand.
Sure, but you have to stop second-guessing yourself at some point, if you want to get something done.
Quello che non c'è in sto gioco, la torcia è quella là più potente. Vabbè che questa comunque fa il suo lavoro. Dovuto per forza usare la granata. Forse prima me la potevo risparmiare, ma successivamente no. Ok, adesso qua ci sta il coso per...
These beams hate the light, am I correct? You should be able to turn on the lights and secure the area
Can
that
you
way.
hear me? I think we're good to go.
All right. I'll start looking for the signal. Please, head back.
Devo vedere ogni volta.
I guess they didn't like that. And Mountain's trying to kill me.
Sentito all'ultimo.
It's working. Please, come up here.
Lanciarazzi ancora la devo usare in sto gioco.
You find the signal?
Yes, I don't think it's quite the same thing we had, the last time. Still, we're definitely picking it up.
Are we getting the complete signal now?
I'm afraid not. Take a look at it yourself. I'm printing out a hard copy now. I'd like to ask you a question or two before that, though, if you don't mind.
What's on your mind, Doctor?
Most people would find these events extremely disturbing, provided that they survive these creatures, that is. You seem to be quite adept at dealing with the situation. Why is that?
Yes, I was involved in... It's a complex story. I was in this small town, and a horrible thing from another dimension kidnapped my wife and manipulated me into writing this horror story that came true. I learned to fight it with light, and I managed to contain it and free my wife. But I was trapped in its world.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. So, I'm used to reality working in strange or even impossible ways. And I fought these things, not exactly like this, but close enough for a good while now. Of course, I have certain advantages. Was there anything else?
What did you mean when you said you have advantages?
At the risk of sounding like a lunatic, reality is much more fluid than people think. It can be influenced.
I didn't take you for a mystic.
I'm not. I'm a writer. And under certain conditions, I can, for lack of a better word, rewrite reality. Change things.
That's absurd.
But it works.
Assuming you believe this, why don't you simply, I don't know, write yourself some superpowers?
It's not quite that simple. You need to follow certain laws of drama, I suppose. You need to think about consistency and symbolism. Often what you write isn't anywhere near as important as what you imply. There are things out there that will take advantage of your mistakes.
You really believe in this?
Don't look at me like that. You've experienced some of this yourself.
I will gladly admit that something exceedingly strange is going on. But this idea that you're somehow altering reality with your writing is ridiculous. You're essentially saying you're controlling my
E allora che
actions.
cazzo me lo chiedi a
Leaving
fare?
aside the rational arguments against us, what gives you the right?
Well, it's more like having a destiny. A path you're on. You're not aware of it, but there it is. If somebody changes it, what difference does it make? It's what every writer does. If you write something that affects one of the characters, they don't really know about that.
I'm not a character. Are you saying that it's all right to take advantage of someone if they aren't aware of it?
Look, all I meant was that if you're genuinely making all your own decisions, and those decisions lead to whatever destiny you have, what practical difference does it make?
I suppose that depends on whether our destinies are determined by things like physics and probabilities, or natural reality, which is presumably neutral and impartial, or by some kind of an intelligence. If it's the latter, that intelligence makes choices based on some criteria. If we suffer as a result of those choices, there's a moral and ethical element involved, regardless of whether we're aware of its manipulations. Wouldn't you
Che
agree?
discorsoni, eh?
You're taking this very well. I thought you'd be angry.
I suppose I would be if I thought you could actually do this.
Ma io posso farlo, hai visto pure tu le cose strane.
Another printout. Another signal fragment. The message is still not complete, but it's another piece of the weapon he has built against his adversary. Mere words on a piece of paper, but in the right hands, they will hold back the darkness.
Non è riscritto, quindi ritorneremo qua, mamma mia. Quanti loop erano? Io mo questo non mi ricordo. Vabbè. Speriamo 3. E basta, perché cacchio.
The last time the man came to the drive-in, it did not end well. He hopes to avoid that fate this time. He hopes that what he has brought with him to this place is enough.
Ugh. Serena's probably out of her mind again. But I'm gonna need that key so I can get the power back on.
You again?
I'm really just here to get the keys so I can get the power back on.
Do you want to hold me down? It's okay. I know you like that.
Yeah, I'll just grab the keys.
I could be like your wife. Little wifey. Waiting at home for hubby. Or you could be the mailman. Or the neighbor.
I'm already married to someone who isn't crazy, thanks. I'm just gonna go and get the power back on.
Aww.
Look, I may or may not be back. I have the access code to the booth already, so once the power is on...
You should totally come see me. We could have fun. You know.
We'll see how it goes. You should sit down or something. Try to stay calm.
I don't want to be calm. I want to be nasty. I want to be nasty with
E non gli fa nulla.
Yeah. Okay.
you. You could do anything you want. You can use my...
I was about to do the weather, but I see we have a caller. Hey, you're on the air with Eddie. What's up?
Hey, Eddie, it's Ricky. You talked about fate before. You think about that a lot?
Not a lot, to be honest, but...
Are you getting it yet, genius?
Mi scoccio di sentire pure i messaggi alla radio, devo essere proprio sincero. La doppietta. Un salvataggio. L'auto mi ha preso stavolta, non mi sono fatto niente, come funziona? Oh, ma che cazzo di problema?
I want to talk about Alice. Just look at her. She's really beautiful, isn't she? Your wife. Well, our wife, really. Just my wife soon. Don't worry. I'm not gonna treat her like the others. She's special. If I wanted her dead, she would be. I've been around for a while now. So talented. You haven't seen her new work, of course. Oh, it takes my breath away. Really, she's that good. Did you know that I've got a wedding ring, too? We're that similar. She's seen me a couple times, you know? I've let her catch glimpses. She thinks she's imagining things, of course. She thinks you're dead. It might as well be. I mean, even if you manage to keep surviving, you'll be in my trap forever. So I'll go to her. It'll be an amazing moment. Oh my God, you're alive. I'll be the good, loving husband for as long as I can stand it. She'll love it. And then, one day, somehow, it'll happen. Maybe I'll slip up, she spots something, or maybe she just starts running her mouth. And then, I'll do it. It's gonna be sweet. My darling wife.
Perché l'attore è che cazzo, l'attore.
You're like a little hamster in a wheel. Go ahead and keep running for all the good it'll do you.
I massacri faccio. No, di nuovo l'M16 non lo voglio.
die, you lose. If you quit, you lose. If you make it to the end of the loop, you
Ah, stai
still lose.
zitto.
Sucker.
Fighissimo. La torcia è potentissimo. Devo andare comunque da quella là. Voglio vedere una cosa. Lo so che dice che devo andare qui. Però ho detto vicino a questo che non tornava. Voglio vedere cosa succede se ci torno.
It's you.
I guess you're back to normal again?
I don't know if I'm ever gonna be normal, but thanks. I know you didn't have to come back for me like this.
I couldn't just leave you like that. I'm sorry about the whole thing.
Not your fault. At least I'm not Little Miss Whore Slut anymore. Ugh, that's just... Hey, thanks for not, you know, taking advantage.
No problem. You don't seem too weirded out even though this is happening again.
Honestly, that pales in comparison with having that thing inside my head. I mean, it's crazy, but...
I understand. I can really mess you up.
Plus, this is weird. I think what he did left something. I can feel that things are different. I just know that time is acting wrong. I don't know how to describe it. It's like I can sense it.
I'm not surprised. A close encounter with these forces, it stays with you. Changes the way you see things. Some people can't deal with that. They just lose it.
Well, it's early yet. I'm not ruling anything out.
I'm gonna go make my way into the projector booth.
Okay. Is there anything I can do? About the situation, I mean?
No, it's a trap for me. I'm gonna have to go deal with it.
Uh-huh. And you got a plan, is that it?
I think I have a chance. Yeah.
Abbiamo fatto una buona azione, diciamo, dai. Questo l'hanno fatto che si stanca, diciamo, dopo un po' più di tempo rispetto al
Champion of
primo.
Light knows that the time itself is about to end. At least for him. He can feel the dead end rushing towards him. But there is time to act. Incomplete or not, he has the weapon.
I don't have the whole thing, but maybe it's enough.
Oh, ciao Zodiac! Buonasera, buonasera. Un faretto illuminava l'estintore rosso. Era tardi. Se è mattina presto. Cioè, mezzogiorno. Era tardi. Sembra che tu ci sia nato in qua. No, infatti oggi è partito tutto subito. No, sapevo, terzo loop, un'altra volta.
You're trying to be cute, aren't you? What are you up to? It's a waste of time, buddy. You should just lie down and die. Let me take over. This is the only thing you've got coming to you. From here to eternity. No matter how many times you come back.
Time folds back on itself. Again, his senses scream as the very impossibility of what is happening assaults them. But the champion of light endures.
Tutto da capo, raga. Tutto da capo.
Each time he gets a little closer. Each time another detail falls into place. Now the trap works against the Herald of Darkness.
Holy shit! What are you, the King Hillbilly?
I carabinieri. Vabbè, tanto me le ricarico, quindi.
Right on cue, bubbling to the surface from untold depths, the horrors come. The emerging monsters do not expect the warm reception that has already been prepared for them.
Ah, però almeno adesso. Mi hanno risparmiato di rifare tutto, dai. Altro, se sa questa cosa, perché non se n'è andato già al motel? Dai. Stai ancora qua, stai.
Next stop, saving Emma.
Is it bad that this time I just got home? My ass?
Not as long as I show up, I guess. It's clear now.
Yeah, thanks for saving me again. I'd hate to die before I'm scheduled to be murdered.
I guess I have you to thank for setting everything up at the oil derrick.
Yeah, well, I figured that if we were going to go over this again, we might as well try to be smart about it, huh?
Ma anche tutte le altre hanno fatto così.
You took a big chance doing that. You okay?
What do you think? I've died twice. I remember everything pretty clearly now. You said I was gonna be okay.
I don't know what happened.
Oh, it's not your fault. I think one of those, what did you call them? The takers? I think they did something to the power and they got me that way.
I'm sorry.
But I got the keys from the dead guy in that room. And I'm not handing them over until you do something about this. I'm sick of getting killed.
Fair enough. You seem calmer now.
I tried freaking out. It didn't do much good for me. I guess you get used to the craziest stuff.
Good for
Ma
you.
mi sa che muore di
Guess I
nuovo
figured
questa.
I'd take the edge off,
Mm.
you know?
Mm-hmm. Those herbal supplements are pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to try to explain things to you now since you're calmer, but maybe this isn't the best time after all.
Oh, shit, yeah. Better not get all metaphysical on me now. Seriously, I'm like 2 sentences away from thinking how we could all be like atoms on God's skin or something.
Or figments of somebody's imagination?
Wow. I'm just gonna try to chill out and not think about that or getting murdered or anything, if you're cool with that.
Gotcha. So I've been thinking about Barry. I don't know what to do about him yet. I mean, I'm not gonna keep him around.
Oh, lascia sta Barry, un bagno minimoso.
Al? Al? Ugh, little parasite. Your best friend. Really? That's the best you can do. I actually kind of like the guy. He's a plucky little butterball. He plays the clown. That's a hard road to take. But I don't need him sticking his fat face in my business. Did you know he's been hanging out with the sheriff from that shitty little town? They keep in touch. Barry's about the only guy who insists that you're not dead. How about that? I might keep him alive for a while. Just to see him go to pieces when I fire his ass. Yeah. Yeah. okay. I really don't think they can get to the power now.
Thank you. That's a relief. Here's the keys that you needed.
Thank you.
Hey, I have to tell you, at the diner, I went there with him. The guy who looks like you, okay? I know I said that I didn't.
Yeah, I figured. Want to talk about what happened at the diner?
There was this guy from the observatory, and he just attacked the poor dude, smashed his face into the tabletop a bunch of times. It was horrible. I didn't know that he was gonna do that. I swear. And I just ran. I just left him there. I didn't even try to help.
There was nothing you could have done. It's not your fault.
Well, he's dead in that motel room now, so excuse me if I feel pretty shitty about it anyway.
You shouldn't blame yourself.
I just didn't want to get involved. I have this tendency to just drop everything and run. I don't think I'm a bad person, but I didn't even call the cops.
Ha detto che lei aveva preso le chiavi dal tipo morto, quindi perché deve esplorare le stanze?
He's not human. Do you understand? It's not your fault.
But I could have tried to stop him.
Believe me, if you had, you'd be dead. You seem to be doing a little better now.
Yeah, I guess it just got easier once I got this thing off my chest. I just feel so guilty about it, especially because I didn't pick up on any of the warning signs. I just really liked hanging out with him, you know? He was smart and charming and funny and hot. The way you could be, I guess.
I guess.
What's the deal with this guy anyway? He looks like you, he uses your name. Why does he do this stuff?
I'm not sure myself. Maybe he's just evil or my dark half. He does a lot of the stuff I'm trying really hard to get away from. Things that just messed up my life.
I guess all those murders don't help either.
Yeah, I could do without the murders and the end of the world. Listen, I need to get going.
Yeah, go. I think I'm good now. I hope.
Good luck. If it all goes well, maybe this is the last time we meet like this.
God, wouldn't that be great?
Just keep those lights on, okay?
Ah, stavolta non è morto.
The fate of countless individuals hangs in the balance, threatened by the machinations of the Herald of Darkness. And yet, for a moment, the Champion of Light breathes a little easier. He has saved one life. For this moment, it is enough. And soon, perhaps, he can put an end to this. Returning to the observatory for what he hopes is the final time, the man feels anticipation and dread in equal measure. Soon, he knows, he will have what he needs.
La chiuderà questa volta la porta dell'auto completamente? No, madonna che fastidio.
Hello, I was expecting you. I've already taken care of the imaging array, but you should still look into securing the primary coolant flow. With some luck, you may be able to light the area before these things
Potevi
show up.
parlare da qua e non dicevi niente.
Thanks for tuning in for the second part of our interview with Serena Valdivia and award-winning photographer Alice Wake. Now, Alice, we were talking about your husband, Alan Wake. Is that a sore subject for you?
Well, a little bit. Of course it is. The way I see it, we had our good times and our bad times, and on the whole, we had a lot of good times. He really made me happy. I don't mind being reminded of him.
So you're over him?
I don't know if I'll ever be that, entirely. I still think about him every day, literally. I still find myself hoping for... Well, sometimes I think I see him just standing somewhere, watching me. I think most people who lose someone they love experience things like that. But on the whole, I'm doing all right. 2 years is a long time to adjust, and I'm not really the type to wallow in the negative.
Well, I know there are a lot of stories about Alan. He seemed to have something of a wild streak.
That's not really what our show is about, though.
Look, all that stuff really gets blown out of proportion. He had his problems, but it's really frustrating for me because people like to talk. They love to tell these crazy stories, and they never really knew him at all.
Well, the character he created, Alex Casey, is a household name. The books still continue to sell. There's been talk of a TV series, a movie, a video game.
Video game.
It's nice to know that his work is still being appreciated by so many readers.
Yes, of course, but I don't really deal with the business side. I leave that to Alan's agent.
That would be Barry Wheeler. Actually, I just interviewed him. He's currently in the music business. And he's also Alan's
Basta. Cosciato. Entra?
Very good. I believe we're ready to look into the sky.
Right there, Doctor.
Dobbiamo vedere per forza sta scena. Vabbè.
Come on in.
This is what you look like. Does that bother you? I bet it does. I'm not just wearing your face, you know.
Poi un film su Alan Wake con Nicolas Cage.
There's a lot of you and me. All the best parts. At first, I was just an idea. But they kept telling all those stories about you.
Che mi guardi?
You already had that rep. And then you disappeared mysteriously. And then the stories about bad, crazy Alan Wake came true. And here I am. That's the best part, isn't it? When that happens, you can always count on Cauldron Lake. I'm just as real as you are. And I'm the improved version. No fears, no doubt, no weaknesses, no self-deception here. I don't let anything drag me down. I know you like I know myself. I know it bothers you that I'm like this, that I use your name, crawl my way into your life. But I only do it because I'm better at being you than you ever were.
Down! You need to protect the telescope or we can't complete the signal.
Venuto?
There, I have it. I wish these things would stop blatantly violating the laws of physics in my observatory. That's just rude. Are you all right?
I'll live.
I'm glad. I'll send the lift down to you. I remember our previous encounters very clearly now. But technically, if this really is a loop in time, we've never met before. I don't know why our awareness persists, but it's bloody fascinating.
Doctor?
You know, I know physicists who would give 15 years of their lives for a chance to experience something like this.
I'd imagine that being stalked by horrible axe murderers would curb their enthusiasm a little.
Clearly you've never met hardcore physicists.
I'm glad you're in such good spirits,
The
but
signal! Yes, it's completed.
finally. If all goes well, this should be the last time we go through the loop.
You know, I just realized that I don't have any memory of what happens after you leave. What does that mean?
I don't think it means anything. If everything goes well, you just keep going. I don't show up here like this again, no more bad guys. Things go back to normal.
Let's hope you're right. I'd love the opportunity to look into this in more detail.
Looks like you've accepted the situation.
I'm a pragmatist. If this is a delusion, at least my first psychotic episode is anything but boring. Really, Mr. Wake, at the end of the day, I'm a scientist. I love mysteries. I love not knowing. Whatever else this might be, it's absolutely fascinating. I wonder how far this reaches. Is everybody in the world experiencing this?
Who knows? I think reality's probably pretty fragile right now. Doctor, I can see you're very enthusiastic about this. I'd appreciate a bit of discretion.
Are you suggesting that we should suppress this?
No, you can do what you like, but I want you to leave me out of it.
But surely, with the things you know, the things you've experienced, you can replicate any of these results. We could—
Let me be blunt. If you drag me into this, I'll deny everything. I'll lie like my life depended on it. And writers are damn good liars. Word of advice. This is things man was not meant to know territory. You get into this, chances are you'll open up a door into a world of hurt. Believe me, I know.
I see.
In a strange way, he feels at ease. He is armed with his own words, and when the time comes, they will be enough or they will not. For now, he's content to let the currents take him toward the final confrontation.
Confronto finale, quindi siamo per finirlo, meno male. È ripetitivo, dai, è diventato proprio ripetitivo, oltre che tedioso, anche ripetitivo. Ecco perché non è tanto amato sto gioco. Fai sempre la stessa cosa. Cioè, hanno prolungato una roba
Once more, we
che
return to
hanno
the
scritto in
drive-in.
breve. Cioè,
If he's aware of the absurdity of arming oneself with a few sentences and standing against a power that can pierce time itself, he doesn't show it. The man has his share of weaknesses, perhaps more, but cowardice is not among them.
Oh, you got yourself a little plan, do you?
continua a mandarmi sti scemi contro, ma io rispondo, non hai capito? Rispondo pure a te dopo. Un salvataggio. Sapevo.
Never getting out of this, Wake. Never! Don't worry. I'll take care of your wife and your life. I don't know what you think you're doing, but I'll send you right back to the beginning. it is you're gonna do is gonna make a difference, this'll end up just like before!
I've been around for a while now, you know? While you've been indisposed, stuck in the darkness, I've been busy. I operate in the shadows, not always literally, you understand? I'm a little more resilient than those I've taken, but I do my best work in the dark. And there's so much darkness out there that goes deep, and the things that live in it are vast, big bastards. They don't mind getting a little bit of elbow room. All that chaos and madness, it doesn't really do that much down there. It's like pouring a glass of water into the ocean, right? But up here, yeah, you can really make an impact.
Quassù dove?
All they need is someone to bring them all the way through. But first, I had to take care of you. You party pooper. You're stuck in an eternal cycle now. The sun's never coming up for you. Everything else? Do my thing. Getting a bit of quality time with Alice. That's a little something for me. And I deserve it.
Se posso andare ad aiutare quella ragazza un'altra volta. Immagino avrà di nuovo bisogno del mio aiuto.
Oh, hey.
I'm hoping I can put an end to this now.
You'd better. I really don't want that to happen to me again. It's like somebody vomited in my brain, like a sleazy movie that keeps looping in my head.
I'll stop this, I swear.
You know the part that's really screwed up? If you mess it up, it'll just keep happening forever, right? I don't think I can deal with that.
Don't think about that.
I don't think of anything but.
Hey, afterwards, when all this is done, look me up. This thing, I can probably help you deal with it.
I don't know. It's almost like I'm not even in the same world anymore. Everything's just weird now.
Yeah, I know. A lot of that'll pass with time. But being touched by the darkness, it's rough on you. It's a lot to process. And I just don't want you to get completely screwed up by this.
Might be a little late for that, to be honest.
Yeah, well, there's degrees.
At least you're not at a point where you go around picking fights with people over not changing their light bulbs often enough.
What?
Never mind. All I'm saying is, you're not alone with this. And anyway, you're friends with Alice, so, you know, any friend of hers.
Thank you.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the third part of our pre-recorded interview with Serena Valdivia and renowned photographer Alice Wake. So, tell me about the film.
It's called Sunrise, and it really wasn't something I ever thought of as an actual film. It was just footage, things I saw and happened to shoot. It's not a medium I'm very much at home with.
You shouldn't put yourself down. You've got a great eye.
Maybe, but experience is another thing.
Because you're primarily a still photographer.
Yes, exactly. So I'm really used to thinking of the world in terms of snapshots. I frame something and try to pick the right moment, and then reveal that moment to people. Moving images are a different story. I'm still learning a lot of
Due maroni. Prolissi, prolissi queste robe della Rai, mamma mia, troppo.
Again, the champion of light enters the final trap. The new reality is almost here. All he needs to do is
Deatrelli
change
c'è
the
lì.
details of the scene, push it past the breaking point, and the rest will
Era sera
snap
tardi.
into place.
State volgeva al termine. Mostra la condina di un film noir. No, no.
Oh, come on, buddy. Why don't you... What? What is this? No! No! You can't do this! All I did was take the things you always wanted and never had the balls to go for. It's my turn now!
Oh, ciao Nicola, buonasera.
It's my life! It's my
Non c'è un boss finale, veramente?
Alan? Is it really you?
It's really me.
How? I love you.
I love you.
Guarda in che momento splendido sei entrata.
A woman, a man, two lovers, held apart for far too long, enveloped in the light of a glorious dawn. They both feel it. He's home at last. Are these actual events or merely a dream? A memory or a glimpse of what is to come, one thing is certain. This scene takes place in another time and another place.
Finale del cazzo, però mostra cosa di Night Springs.
From Night Springs.
Cioè, non ha nemmeno un boss finale sto gioco, wow. E niente, abbiamo finito Alan Wake American Nightmare. Purtroppo, o per fortuna, visto il piattume deleterio di questo gioco, non è stato fatto altro se non la remastered di Alan Wake, che comunque quella là continuo a suggerirvela. Se non avete mai giocato ad Alan Wake, fatela, perché comunque il primo Alan Wake merita sicuramente una chance. Anche se abbiamo visto non è che abbia tutto questo splendido gameplay, però la trama è comunque abbastanza intrigante. Detto questo, ci vediamo al prossimo gameplay. Voi che siete in live non vi muovete, e questa è la mia ringa finale per i video sul tubo. Scolla a voi, in basso trovate i miei social, invece chi è in live, intanto che faccio questa ringa, se non l'avete ancora fatto, potete seguirmi su questi social. Skull su Night Springs.